Betsy, your creativity has emerged, it seems, in many, many guises, unbelievable range. And can you talk about those various guises and how they relate to each other?
Well, I used to see myself rather narrowly as just a children's book writer. And then I was challenged to write a novel by my editor. And then I was challenged to write sketch comedy by someone in my drama group at Stanford, Continuing Ed. And since then, things have just kind of blossomed. I had no idea where it would go, but if a door opens, I just go through it and see what happens. Like my son, James, and Dave, who are both actors, encouraged me to continue with my drama, and James gave me the opportunity to be in a movie, an independent movie that he's producing, directing, and acting in, and so is Davey, called The Broken Tower, about the poet Hart Crane. And then I got the opportunity to play James's mom on General Hospital. So things have gotten a little less narrow.
They have. So it sounds like, I've heard you say the word challenge a number of times, that people who you were working with on one project challenged you to go to the next step. And similarly, your sons have invited you and maybe challenged you in a sense to jump in with them.
Yeah. James gives a lot of people a lot of opportunities, and you know, some people take them and some people don't. I happen to be one of them that enjoys taking those opportunities, even though it stretches me a lot, because I'm going into areas I've never gone into before. So I have to be very open-minded and collaborate with people and listen to their feedback.
Well, I read your book, The Metamorhosis, junior year, and was so struck by the voice. And
oh yeah.
So it sounds like where that voice comes from has many, many roots.
Well, a lot of people are interested in the fact that the main character is a teenage boy. And it's his diary. And some people I saw commenting online saying, well, I guess Betsy Franco wrote this, but it sounds like Ovid, this kid in the book, wrote it. So I think I channel teenage boys well. This is not about my sons, any of my sons. But I certainly got ideas from the fact that I grew up with 3 teenage boys and that they had friends over all the time, and that I heard stories and was around the high school, and just collected ideas as they were growing up.
You've written a book, it's been published, and now the play based on that book is going to have evolved from there.
Yeah, and it really evolved. I mean, it's interesting when you write something, when I write something and hear what other people think I meant. Sometimes they know better what I meant than I do. It's really fascinating, because I'm starting to see that maybe there's a part of me, who knows what it is, subconscious or whatever, that puts things in there that I don't even realize.
So what about that? There was one little text exchange in there. I think it was from Sophie, and it was, what do you do that's weird?
Oh yeah.
What do you do that's weird?
You think I'm going to tell you on a camera? I mean, I'm completely neurotic, but I'm not going to tell you how.
Fair. So, but have you actually read Metamorhosis, the original text?
I learned later on that it actually was called Metamorphoses by the Roman poet Ovid. And I have several versions of it, several translations of it, and I would dip into it. I started reading it, but I would dip into it when I really needed to, especially with the particular stories that I put into my book. I can't say I read it from cover to cover, but I got the idea of his style, and I also got details of the plots, and I was amazed by how he wrote. I mean, it was very accessible. I didn't think that would happen.
Were there experiences in your own childhood? Did you grow up with brothers? Start your understanding of young males early on, or were there any experiences that shaped you?
Well, my parents always encouraged my creativity. thank God. They didn't ask why was I an art major at Stanford, and what was I going to do with it. I'm the oldest, then I have a sister and a brother, but I wouldn't say that the household was necessarily dominated by my brother or anything. But even when I taught a long, long time ago, I actually could relate to the boys really well. I guess I'm just a slight bit of a tomboy or something. So it worked out that I had 3 sons because I really liked the games they played, and you know, I wouldn't have necessarily known what to do. Well, I wouldn't know what to do with girls, but it was a good fit.
So you've been collaborating. Obviously, this book and the kind of backdrop of the play involves your son Tom's drawing.
Oh yeah.
And you've collaborated with your son James, and how about with your other son?
Dave?
Dave, yeah. Have there been collaborations there?
Lots of collaborating, which I'm really happy about. So the book, Metamorhosis, James and Dave read the audiobook. Dave read the prose and James read the poetry. And I was amazed when I listened to it. I'm very grateful to them for doing that.
Something in the stew, in the soup of your family has produced a lot of creativity in everyone. And what do you attribute that? Is it, you know, sort of nature, nurture?
Oh, I see. Well, first of all,
what you fed them?
Okay, so first of all, my parents encouraged my creativity, and my husband Doug's mother is a writer. We met in art class. We were obviously into creative endeavors. So when the kids were little, we just had a lot of materials around. Lots of stuff to build with and paint with and create with, and junk boxes that they could collect stuff they found all over and all that. And they were extremely mischievous and would do a lot of mischievous creating also. I honestly think that any kid actually starts out creative, because when they were born, I could see, whoa, look at the look in that in James's eyes, or you know, all of them. Look at Tom, the way he's looking at me, or you know, Davey. I think it's just a matter of not squishing it.
And kind of giving it an outlet or outlets.
However, I just can say that anybody could do that. Anybody could not squish it. And even if, I believe that even if somebody's creativity is squished, they can revive it. They just need somebody to support them in that revival. It doesn't have to be a parent.
What about today's Palo Alto? What would it be like to raise kids in Palo Alto today?
Raising kids today. The only difference that I see really is that when I was raising my kids, there wasn't quite as much pressure to put kids in so many activities. There was some pressure, but I actually didn't put them in a million activities, probably partly selfishly. I didn't want to be grumpy as I was dragging them around everywhere and never seeing them.
What about your children's books? Is there anything that you hope people adults, children, who's ever reading them, will get out of them?
No, actually, the children's books are completely different for me. I actually do want to show people, for example, how creative and sassy and beautiful math can be, and funny. And I know I'm doing it. I mean, I'm doing it on purpose. Or how I want to show them things in their life that maybe have to do with science, but they don't think of it as science. I mean, my books that are related to science or math don't seem like it when you just look at them necessarily. And that's what I want, because that's how I see the world. I see math everywhere. I see science everywhere. I mean, bee snails and peacock tails is geometry and nature. And I just saw that on the way walking to El Carmelo. I walk to this elementary school every day. And I stay there for a bit. And sometimes help out, and sometimes they help me. And I got that book from just walking on the sidewalk with the kids and just observing spider webs and potato bugs and all kinds of stuff.
What gets you fired up, and what, if anything, gets you down? So you have a lot of energy, have a lot of projects going, and you're walking through all these doors.
I try not to get down too much. I mean, I feel my feelings and everything, but I don't stay there too long if they're sort of down feelings. I try to figure out what's bothering me and move on. I mean, I feel it though. I guess, let's see, what gets me going? I really need to be creative a lot of the time. That's very important to me. Early in my career, somebody said, "You'll never get poetry published." I just thought, why would you say that to somebody? I don't like that kind of thing. I don't like discouraging remarks about creativity. I feel like when I go to the high school, for example, and talk about my career or writing, creative writing, I always tell them, hey, you want to be an artist of some kind? Somebody in your generation gets to be an artist of some kind. Somebody in your generation gets to be an actor, a musician, a artist, dancer, whatever. Might as well be you. Basically, what it takes is stubbornness, incredible stubbornness and hard work. I mean, and being able to be rejected, I would say.
Pick yourself up. So I have to ask you this. What are you going to wear
Oh yeah.
to the Academy Awards?
I'm very excited about my dress because a local designer, Camilla Olson, is custom making me a dress. And she had a runway show in New York, and she is making my dress. I cannot tell you how exciting this is. It's a very creative process.
And any favorite movies of James's?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, I just thought 127 Hours wasn't even acting. It was something else. I don't know how he did that, but he was really experiencing that.
Channeling.
I don't know about channeling. He was experiencing it. And it was astounding. I also thought that Howl, when he was Allen Ginsberg, really touched me. The way he read the poetry and was interviewed I just remember him, I don't know, he was either thumping his chest or his belly, and I just thought, whoa, it was so real. He's just so natural. I mean, when he was in Milk, he was so natural, you didn't even think he was acting. I mean, he's very relaxed. I'm trying to learn that myself.
Well, does he share with you what that's like for him and help, talk about being supportive when there's an opportunity there?
Yeah, he does help me with acting. And he gives me pointers, and also when I was acting in his movie, he did some things to loosen me up, made me laugh unbelievably hard. And then bingo, I was in a different space.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Betsy, for sharing this with us.
Yeah, sure.
And have a great time. Red carpet.
Oh, I will. I definitely will. So thank you very much.
Thank you.